able to be flexible enough to accommodate those of a high standard.
OK, merci. Et si advenant qu'on ne réussissait pas à avoir une entente avec les trois pays, le Mexique, les États-Unis et le Canada, est-ce que vous voyez d'un bon œil qu'on ait une entente avec juste les États-Unis bilatérale et juste le Mexique?
No, we're not advocating for separate bilaterals. We think we should maintain the trilateral nature of the NAFTA, including on regulatory standards.
Merci beaucoup.
Thank you, Madam LaPointe. And we're going to move over to the NDP now, and I'm glad to see Mr. Duval here from Hamilton Mountain. Welcome again.
Thank you.
And the NDP's got the floor now for 5 minutes, so go ahead.
Thank you. Good afternoon, gentlemen. Thank you for your presentation today. And I'd like to pick up where Madame Lapointe left off. And if you could dig a little further and elaborate on some of the advantages and disadvantages of the trilateral trade, because ultimately, the U.S. may indicate to us that they want to convert NAFTA, from its single trilateral into bilaterals. So can you speak more specifically about advantages and disadvantages of the trilateral agreement that exists?
Could I start on that and just sort of a general plane and just say this. From a manufacturing standpoint, I think every vehicle manufacturer would say the same thing to you. We are not hung up about where you set the bar on standards, but what we do want to have is as large a consumer marketplace as we possibly can, because of the incredible expense in developing new technologies for powertrain, for connectivity, for safety. The best result for the consumer is for us to manufacture in volume for the largest possible consumer marketplace. It amortizes the cost of development of those technologies across that broader consumer market. And so high standards shared amongst three countries will be a much better outcome from a manufacturing efficiency standpoint, from a public safety standpoint, than a welter of bilateral arrangements. So, and I will say that one of our conversations in terms of where we go with this is ultimately we'd like to see common regulatory standards between the United States and Europe, because it doesn't make sense for us to make small changes in vehicles based on testing standards where the actual outcome of performance of the vehicle is very close. But that's where it comes down today, is that a lot of it comes down to technical detail of the standard, not in terms of the real performance of the vehicle. So when we talk about mutual recognition, it's about speeding the flow of those technologies to the consumer marketplace.
Okay, my question is to now Honda and Toyota specifically. I'm just wondering, in your plans, where you go forward from here. Obviously, you're expanding, you're growing your North American platform. If you can speak individually from your company's perspective as to, where those plans are developing next. Will there be investment in Canada? Are you looking at investment in the U.S. or investment in Mexico kind of as your next step? Just out of curiosity as to where you see your potential market growth.
In terms of market growth, so this is Scott McKenzie from Toyota. Market growth for us would probably be another market, whether it be Europe or elsewhere. In terms of investments, we are planning on investing in Canada at our manufacturing facilities in Cambridge and Woodstock. We have plans in place to reinvest and continue to manufacture high-quality vehicles in Canada for the Canadian market and the U.S. market, but it is important to recognize that at least in our operations, 80% of our vehicles are going to the U.S. market.
And if I can add, this is Anik Nouri at Honda. Scott's obviously more of an expert on this than I am, but the North American market right now is generally moving towards compact SUVs. At least we found that our product in the U.S. especially, that's where it's growing, and we build that the CR-V in Alliston, and like Toyota, the majority of our product is exported to the U.S. About 75% of it. So as you can see, the investment opportunity here is dependent on us being able to build product that can be exported to other jurisdictions. Obviously, we can't absorb all of it. And so when it comes to making those investment decisions, which are made in large part in consultation with, if not by our head offices overseas, they sort of look at where the market is, where it's going, and I think the tripartite agreement and the way the structures in North America right now lends itself to favorable decisions being made in terms of investments in Canada.
So my next question is really about that, highly integrated supply chain that exists. We certainly heard that from other automotive manufacturers when they've been before the committee, and I think we understand that well. So I wonder if you can speak to us about what a disruption to that chain would look like for you, and how you would address that type of disruption.
It'll have to be a short answer, please.